Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday tonight. I'm a little earlier than I normally am because I'm going out for dinner, hence I'm a little dressed up. I belong to Beta Sigma Phi, and tonight is our Christmas dinner, so I'm looking forward to seeing everyone and enjoying a lovely dinner. But I wanted to make sure I was able to also go live. So if you're joining me, let me know where you're coming from, that you can hear me and all is okay. If you're joining me through YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button underneath this video, and so you'll get notified when I go live. So on Wednesdays, typically I go live at 6:30, but tonight, like I said, I'm a little early, but I always do a technique of some sort. So tonight I want to play with, I think the technique, I called it embossing folder fun. I think it's kind of like a magic embossing folder, magic coloring. I'm not sure the exact name of this. Somebody's going to be able to tell me that. But it's a way to, you can add some color to an embossing folder and then make it magically appear. I'm not sure how to describe it. I've showed it before. I'm going to use the Painted Trees embossing folder because I kind of said I was moving on from Christmas cards, but here's another Christmas card for you. Hey Pam. So I'm going to switch over and then we'll get started. All right. So I am going to use, let's see, I'm going to use the Christmas Labels stamp set. And I'm going to use the Painted Trees embossing folder. I love this embossing folder. I was happy to see, at least I didn't see it on the last chance list, so that means it might be around for a little while longer and not retiring immediately. The Christmas Labels stamp set is on the last chance list, which means when it's gone, it's gone. So if you haven't got this one, you'll want to grab it really quickly. There are also dies that coordinate with it, although, yeah, and that's... I've grabbed my Peaceful Season dies, but that's okay. These ones will coordinate with these sentiments as well. This one is also retiring. The Peaceful Season stamp set and Peaceful Season dies are retiring and on the last chance list. So if you haven't put your order in, saving the saving the shipping costs on orders of $100 more, you still have until midnight or 11:59 Mountain Time to do that. Okay, so what do I mean by a magic embossing folder? I'm just trying to find the card I made previously. I don't know if I showed this card or not, but this was a card that I made. I'm pretty sure I made it on a class. And so I used the Seaside Wishes embossing folder. I added some color to the inside, so the deboss side. And then when it was done, I went over it with Tuxedo Black Memento. And so the colors that I put inside the embossing folder just pop. So I'm going to try the same technique using the painted trees. So when you do this one, mine's still wet because I was playing, you want to add the color into the debossed side. And I always have to think about what the debossed side is. So it's the side that's got the line on it, the Stampin' Up! Logo, and the line is the debossed side. So I've got a piece. Thought I had a piece. All right, we'll use the piece I did for the inside of my card, and I'll have to cut another piece because I don't know where the other piece went to. So this is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to trim it down because I've got some silver to go on my card as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of Old Olive to the inside of my trees. Just to add just a little bit of color. Not going to add a ton, but hopefully just enough so that the Old Olive will be seen on the trees. And I'm going to put it on all 3. I don't think all 3 fit on my card. So I've got a little bit of Old Olive that I've just added with my blending brush. And then I'm going to put my piece of basic white on the other side. And then I'm just going to flip that down lightly on top. Let's see if I can get that lined up like that. Get it over. There we go. So I've got my trees, and then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There we go. Put my embossing folder on. Remember, when you put your embossing folders on, you either want the open end or the seamed end to go through. First, doesn't really matter which way. That's the recommended, as opposed to the sides of the embossing folder. There are some, depending on how you put them through, you do have to kind of put the sides in first, but this time we're going to do that. Okay, so actually I did that wrong. See, I always have to think about this, but it'll work this way too. That is on the deboss side, and I did exactly what I told you to do, except that's not what you really should do. You should put it on the side that's going to push inwards more color to your trees. Like that. If you put it onto so I said to put it on the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. That's not correct. Put it on the opposite side to the Stampin' Up! Logo. So I've got a little bit of green on my trees. Now, how do you get that color? I'm going to use Night of Navy. So I'm going to open up my Night of Navy. Oops. And put it on a silicone mat. I'm going to just see if there we go. Silicone mat. And now I'm going to take my Night of Navy embossing folder, and I'm going to run it along flat. Let's push that out a little bit. There we go, flat, so that you get it kind of spreading. And I'm going to run it just like you would an ink pad, or oopsie, let's do it the opposite way. There we go. So you're going to get some spots that are darker. I'm going to do it the other way so it doesn't open up. And you can keep doing it until you've got it as dark. And so I've kind of got a night sky going on. I'd like to get some, there we go. You kind of have to move it in different directions to get the color. So this one's kind of a night sky. And you get very inky fingers when you do this. But there we go, we have trees, and you can just kind of see that green that I put on through the trees. Now the other thing, and I'm just going to get a baby wipe and get my fingers a little less blue and clean up this as well, so it's not getting all over the rest of my card bases and things. Oh, rubber gloves, that would have been a really good thing. So I have some soap that somebody gave me that's got pumice in it that will help. I'm going to make sure I wash my hands before I go out for dinner tonight, because the pumice really gets that off. Okay, so that's what my card is going to look like. Definitely looks Christmassy to me. And so I'm going to trim this because I actually want this to be, I've cut a piece of silver that I cut 3 3/4 by 5. And so I want my card base to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, so that it's going to have the silver mat behind it. So I think I'm going to 3 3/4 by, what did I say? Sorry, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to trim this to 4 3/4. I'm going to take little bits off so that I don't cut the full tree off. And I have parts of all 3 trees, and then I'm going to cut. So so I need 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut the bottom of my trees off. You can save this piece. That's kind of cool for the inside of the card as well. So I cut a piece of silver foil that was 4 3/4 by 5, and so it's just got a bit of a pop of silver behind. Thought it was festive for the holidays. Kind of a cool sky. Oopsie, it doesn't want to hang on. It's moving around on me. There we go. A little more blue on my hands as I rub it. Okay, so I've got a piece of Night of Navy. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it at 4 3/4. And find a bone folder and fold into the mountain. So that's what our front of our card is going to look like. So if you wanted to, you could try to find my, I don't have any here. You could take the white craft stamp pad. I've only got the refill here. And if you wanted to, you could actually put some white on these branches. That's another way to add some extra color. But we're going to take, I'm going to stamp a sentiment that's, so again, this is not the sentiment that goes with the dies that I grabbed, but that's okay. I'm going to use the one that says Peace on Earth, and then hopefully one of these pretty dies from the, I think that will fit. Just, okay, just making sure that I've got a die that will fit that. So these are the Christmas label stamp set, but the Peaceful Season dies. All works. I love it when you can coordinate. Need a bigger block. A bigger block. There we go. Coordinate things. Okay, now I'm going to stamp this in Night of Navy on white. Like, I'm just going to put it in the middle of this piece. And I will save my, what I cut off. Yeah, you could, I might actually do that, Pam. That's a great idea, Pam. I'm going to use my white splatter. Okay, so this just fits, so that's good. I'm going to just take that and, oopsie, carefully, so it doesn't move. I've got my mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine right here. So let's use it, because this will fit. Two hands works better, Melva. There we go. I've got blue even on the front of my hands. Does that look lovely? Oh my goodness. All right, so it just barely fit. Now the cool thing, and I didn't pull any ribbon, the cool thing about these dies is you've got some ribbon slots in the side of them, which make it look really fun. So I'm going to just take and put this, you know what, I'm not happy with that, so let's do this again. As I throw that off to the side. I'm not happy with how that's stamped. It doesn't really fit, so we're going to not use, we're going to do it my Melva's famous fussy cutting, because when it doesn't work the way you think it's going to work, then try again another way. Okay, but I'm going to do what Pam has suggested and do some splatter. So let me show you how move things out of the way. I'm going to use just a block, and this is the white craft ink. And so when you order these, you can buy this separately, but you can also buy the empty. It's an uninked stamp pad, and then you get a bottle of this and you ink it yourself. Stampin' Up! did that way because they were getting it was leaking, the ink pads, and so they decided to not send it inked. And so I'm just going to add a little water to this to make it liquidy. I got a little red going on. Oh, that's going to be an interesting. What have I got going on here? Note to self, Melva, clean your brushes. Okay, let's do this anyway. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to pick up some of this and tap. Oh, Pam, what an amazing idea you had. Thank you. So now it does. And probably I should have done this before I put it on the silver, but that's okay. You can also do this with just water. Let me show you. Let's do a little bit of that too, and show you what it looks like with just water. Cleaning up as I go here. This is just water in here. So if I clean this off, so this is just a water painter, and I'm just kind of cleaning it off until you get rid of the color, and in this case the craft, the kind of creamy, you can see it kind of creamy white. Okay, so when you do just water and splatter, I'm gonna just put some water on my block, and when you splatter you get a bit of a different effect with the water, and it's kind of cool too. So if you've never done kind of splattering with different liquids, you could also do splattering with Wink of Stella, and that looks really cool. So you can maybe see, let's see if I can bring this up. So you can see the white are the white craft ink, and then you can see more blotches like that where the water is on. So that definitely looks, that's very pretty. Thank you, Pam. Make sure I don't have it too wet. Clean off the side of my silver. I've lost my, oh, there it is, right in front of me. So I have to do the inside of the card when I finish, because I used my piece of basic white. It's kind of a striking card. All right, and now we're just going to take, and I'm just going to fussy cut my sentiment. Quickly, just steering the paper around, just kind of around the outside of the words. And we'll use dimensionals to pop my sentiment. And I think I need a mini dimensional because it's kind of, or at least part of a, let's see, there's a smaller piece that's cut off. There we go. So I'm not going to put ribbon on this. I'm just going to, I do have some embellishments, so we're just going to put Peace on Earth there in the corner. And then I have some of, these are the adhesive backed Drucy adhesive backed embellishments. These are the ones that look kind of crystal. They're like raised crystals. And so we'll use some of the silver ones. They are quite large. So you would have to, if we could mail these, you would have to check and see if this would go through for a standard letter. But there we go. Isn't that a pretty card? So a fun way to color, add some color to an embossing folder and then make it pop by using the ink pad right on top of it. And I'm going to save my my little piece that I cut off, and I'm going to put that on the basic white. So I will finish that when I am finished my video and I cut a piece of basic white cardstock. Yeah, I like that. I like the sentiment fussy cut too, Pam. Thanks for watching. All right, let's go back. So thank you for watching. So I will not be live on Saturday like I normally am. If you watched my... hey Karen, sorry I missed your comments, and Roberta, thank you for watching. On Saturday, some of my team are getting together to go for afternoon tea in Victoria. So it's about an hour south, just over an hour south of where we live, and we're meeting with 4 others that we went for tea. Some of them we went for tea with last year. If you watched my Memory Keeping Monday a couple of weeks ago, I did a double layout with some of the pictures from that afternoon tea last year, and so this year we're going to the same place. It's called the Pendray House. It's in an old mansion in downtown Victoria, and I'm really looking forward to spending time with some of my team. Not everybody's able to come because not everybody lives close. Not everybody lives on Vancouver Island. I have team members as far away as Ontario. So we get together through Zoom, but this is just a little added treat that some of us are able to do. Okay, so I won't be live on Saturday, but I will be live on Sunday at 12 noon. So hopefully you can join me then. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.